So the first 6 months that I came to live in Dodoma, Tanzania, working with the sponsorship program at Grace and Healing Ministry, I heard about this girl, Sauda. Sauda is HIV positive, and she is also what we call child-headed household. Her mother died several years ago from HIV-related illness, and her father went to another city to look for work, and he felt like he was providing well for her. He had built a house, and it had like 4 apartments in it, essentially, and she lived in one of them, and there were tenants in the other 3. And so it was intended that those tenants would give Sauda rent money every month, and with that rent money, she could pay her school fees, and she could pay for food, and all of those things. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Immediately after her father left, the tenants just refused to pay her rent because she's a 14-year-old girl, and they just flat refused. In March of 2010, we were able to get Sauda enrolled in the Lahash sponsorship program. And right at that same time, March 2010, all of the sponsors and other friends of Lahash were invited to participate in something we were calling Rice and Beans Month, where we asked everyone to eat only rice and beans, to eat simple meals of rice and beans in order to live in solidarity with our friends and clients in East Africa, to also simplify their lives, and then to be able to supplement the diet of the kids and clients here in East Africa. So all of the people who participated in Rice and Beans Month donated the money that they had saved to Lahash, and Lahash transferred it to Grace and Healing Ministry here in Dodoma. And with that money, we bought food for the families of the kids in the program. We bought a 25-kilo bag of unga, of maize flour, for every child, and also 7 kilos of beans, which makes a lot of the staple foods that families eat here. For some of the families, they have a lot of people living in their house, maybe 8 or 10 people living in their house, and a bag of unga and a bag of beans is gonna last them a few days at most. But for a kid like Sauda, she lives alone, and that is all of the food that she has. A bag of unga that size could last her more than a month, eating for breakfast and dinner, and those beans lasted her at least a month as well. She's HIV positive, so it's so important for her to eat regularly and for her to eat balanced meals. And a huge bag of unga and a big bag of beans makes a gigantic difference for her. I know it's not easy to eat rice and beans. For the past year that I've been living here, I've been eating rice and beans almost every day. I know it takes a lot of getting used to. I know it can be extremely difficult. And so I feel really privileged, I guess, to know what it's costing people at home in America to do this. And at the same time, knowing the huge impact it's having on families in Dodoma and girls like Sauda who need that nutrition. And Sauda, she's a girl who doesn't have any food. There are some nights where she goes to bed completely hungry because she just doesn't have any money. She doesn't have any way to provide for herself. She's a 14-year-old girl who's trying to go to school and doesn't have anyone looking out for her. And so to be able to be part of a sponsorship program that says, we'll look out for you, and then to have friends in the States who are willing to eat simple meals in order to donate for Sauda's care. When you're able to take that food that came directly from their eating habits and put it into the hands of a girl who is looking at going to bed hungry that night, it's a miracle in a lot of ways. I guess if they could be here and eat with Sauda. She takes so much pride in preparing food and sharing that with people. I just wish that, those times during Rice and Beans Month where it just feels too difficult, it's one more day of boring food when you could be eating any number of other things. I just wish you could be here with Sauda, that she could cook you rice and beans. Rice and beans that she has because you're eating rice and beans. It comes full circle. I hope the story of Sauda can encourage you during those hard days where all you want is a cheeseburger or lasagna or enchiladas. I know those cravings have been there, but I hope that Sauda's story can encourage you to press on in rice and beans, knowing that your sacrifice means a lot to Sauda.